bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that. Tune into the reality check, look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that. Tune into the reality check, look.
What's happening, good people? Hoping everybody's having a good day. A lot of conversation going on in these parts of the world, and we definitely got to have one today. I got a couple of things we're going to do today, and I'm hoping everybody is going to be a part of the conversation. Number one, former council person Cindy Wynn is going to join us for 3 o'clock. She's going to be in here talking about what's going on with Viet and all of our friends in the Vietnamese community in New Orleans East. And, of course, we're going to have some good conversation about what's going on there. Speaking of New Orleans East, I'm going to kind of have this conversation because there is a undertone. I don't think it made the news yet, of a big discussion that is happening in New Orleans East. Well, what are you talking about, Gerard? The conversation piece that seems to be taking part is about billboards. Should there be billboards allowed in New Orleans East? Uh-oh. Go ahead and call somebody, let them know we're going to do the conversation. Because I know all of my advocates for we don't want that in our community is going to stand up, and I want to hear it. I want to hear it. But I also want to hear what is the difference. I also want to hear those that are saying, hey, wait a minute, hold up. We want to have billboards in our community. Because I've heard that one too. So how you feeling? What you think? Should there be? Or should there not be billboards allowed? What you think? 504-582-9422. Yep, you can go and call somebody and let them know. Let them know. I have no problem with them learning. I have no problem with them saying yay or nay. And come with your best game. Come on. I think I had this conversation one time before with Don Hebert. And when I had the conversation with Don Hebert, I think Don Hebert with was telling me that, this is a bricks and mortar community, and we were not, that is not in our wheelhouse to say that we want that type of stuff in our community. And I guess my question that I had at that time, now understand it's been a minute since we had this conversation. The question I had at that time was, the difference between this community and other communities. Does that make sense? and how people feel about it. What do you think? Is that going to interrupt your quality of life? Is that going to interrupt or make a hindrance in your community? Come on, New Orleans East, where you at? 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. What y'all say? Do you all want to be able to go down the down the highway and see billboards? Because it's interesting to me that if you live uptown, if you live in the CBD area, if you live in Mid-City, if you live in Gentilly, you got billboards. But if I had to think about it, what areas of town don't have billboards? Would that be neighborhood mound like Lakeview? And Lakeview is not a interstate community. You have to come off the interstate for Lakeview, correct? I'm not taking up for Lakeview, but I'm just saying it's not the same as an I-10 goes straight through New Orleans East. Hits every major intersection: Crowder, Morrison, Reed, Bullard. And our businesses in New Orleans East suffering because they have no advertising and promotion. But on the other hand, our New Orleans East advocates for no billboards right about, we haven't had them this long. We haven't had them this far. But is it a new day? What you think? Don't slip on this one, because this is going to end up being a big one. Get on top of it. Billboards in the East, yay and nay. Do you think this is viable? Because 5 days ago, in NOLA.com, they had the story. New Orleans East business owners will have more ways to advertise after the city council moved to lift restrictions on billboards in the area, which is a controversial bid to give struggling businesses a boost. The vote that took place last Thursday was 5-2. The council overruled the city planning recommendation to uphold city zoning rules that prohibit billboards in design overlay districts, a category that encompasses the majority of the East. Under the change, billboards are allowed anywhere north of Chef Mentor Highway between Parish Road and Dowman Road, including residential areas. But Oliver Thomas, the council member who represents the East, said the council may limit billboards in some places later if it chooses. Since the prohibition, we had fewer businesses that look at our community as a destination. This would be an opportunity in a limited way where we come to some compromise with some attractions and businesses in New Orleans East to advertise. But critics, the critics, done said them billboards will be a nuisance. especially for residents living near Interstate 10. They also said it could retract from the community's rebranding efforts. The council vice president, Mr. Red Bottoms, also along with the council president, Helena Moreno, voted against the move. Said he'd received tremendous feedback on the issue and it has been overwhelmingly negative. An aid to business, the move comes as the East prepares for a spate of new investment projects that could boost the area's economic prospects after decades of disinvestment. The city has dedicated $24 million toward revitalizing Lincoln Beach. And Bayou Phoenix Development Group has planned a redevelopment for former Six Flags. Business owner Troy Henry is launching a multi-million-dollar project on Chef Highway called the Sterling Center that will be constructed a 24-pump Shell gas station, car wash, retail options, and a 6-vendor food court. The community needs to be aware of those changes, supporters of the billboard effort say. New Orleans East is on the cusp of the redevelopment, says Tangi Wall. Why not have a billboard that speaks to these things? What good is it for the development if no one knows about them? According to a June planning commission, billboard expansion goes against the city's master plan for growth over the next 20 years. In the East, the plan stipulates the district must promote pedestrian-friendly and bicycle-friendly environments and says the billboards would be disruptive and distracting for vehicle traffic. Pelican Billboards owner John Jackson regularly gets requests from companies wanting advertisements directed in Jefferson Parish and parts of New Orleans west of the Industrial Canal. People are stopping and spending money everywhere except New Orleans East, he said. There's no opportunity to advertise. It's the most bizarre thing. Still, for some business owners, billboards are a thing of the past. Social media and word of mouth are far better options. We mostly do word of mouth, said Kia Scott, owner of the window tinting and auto glass on Lake Forest Boulevard, in the interview. Scott said that she used them when launching her company about 15 years, but found it still didn't help bring an influx of customers. They were also too costly. New Orleans East attorney Sean Blondell said that he can see businesses taking advantage of additional billboard space, and it's not a marketing priority for his firm. It's more impactful for me to spend dollars that I would typically spend on a billboard and more beneficial to spend that in the community sponsoring an event. Thomas, meanwhile, says the move is just one of those several tools in a business owner's toolbox. Not that the ban is lifted. The council can tailor the areas where billboards are allowed. There was never the intention to have a proliferation of billboards, he said at Thursday's meeting. So, maybe I'm wrong because I'm in advertising. Is there a community where you haven't seen billboards that has a major highway running through it? I'm just asking. Is it me? How about if I need to say to Councilman Thomas, the billboard company owner, that we would like to have a special, like if something's happening in the East that you want to know, everybody wants to know about. And I can put a billboard on the highway that says meeting at the New Orleans East Library on Reed Boulevard about a certain thing. Here's the date, here's the time. See you there. Well, how about if I wanted to take out an ad to tell my child, my wife, or somebody a happy birthday? And let it be a flasher on the side of the road. Wouldn't that be something special? But what about if I do have a business that is not on the main thoroughfare getting off I-10? That you have to go a little bit further down into New Orleans East to get to my business. I don't know. Hey, Miss Pearl. Miss Pearl?
Okay. Back during Lyndon Johnson's time, Lady Bird did that, propose that they get rid of those billboards.
Hold on 1 minute. Hold on. Turn me up a little bit, Jazz. I can't hear her. What you say, Miss Pearl?
Okay, during Lyndon Johnson's time, Lady Bird proposed that they get rid of those billboards because they were ugly. The interstate cannot have billboards. But what they could have, you know those green signs when you exit off or something? It tells you what's there, like for McDonald's, like they have this thing where it lists food, gift shop, gas station. You know, when you're traveling, I think it's the blue signs that have a list.
Yeah, it's a state sign.
It's not a billboard.
Right, it's a state sign.
Yeah, because 10 is an interstate.
Do what now?
I say Interstate 10 is an interstate, which means they can't put billboards on the interstate.
There are interstate billboards everywhere. What you talking about?
No, they have those big signs like a listing of everything when you're driving on the highway.
You're talking about the blue signs when they have gas stations and places to eat and hospital.
Right.
That's it.
Those signs, but they don't have Joe Blow's store or whatever.
There's gas stations, places to
right,
eat.
But they don't have their name. They might have BP or racetrack, but they don't have Joe Blow's place and Mary Sue's place and stuff like that.
What's wrong
so
with
I'm
it?
I'm just saying that besides, billboards are distracting.
You think so?
I drive all the time.
Well,
in fact, I'm moving.
Wait, what?
I'm moving. I've closed on a house in North Carolina on Monday.
You can't go nowhere. You tell your daughter I said we gonna kidnap you.
Well, we're packing, and I'll be moving out. In fact, I'm signing a house Monday. I'll close Monday.
Well, I hope you enjoy your move, but you can't be leaving.
But anyway, back to the billboards. I'll tell you, they have a big guide, a big sign. I think around Greensboro, they have a big sign that tell you Popeyes in the truck stop and stuff like that. But they don't have a name.
Well, I just know that there are so many different billboards that I see on the highway that will help you when you need to get off and you're looking for something in particular. Every exit off the highway does usually have the names of gas stations and the names of places where you can get something to eat. But if I have
GPS does that too. Your GPS.
Yeah, but if I have a business other than something to gas your vehicle up or something to eat, I need to be able to advertise to my constituents. And you got all, what, 300,000 folks that are going to be passing by it per
You
day.
can advertise on the gas pumps.
Well, if I don't need gas,
Well, okay.
then I ain't.
But
then
anyway,
I'm not
I'm gonna let you
advertising.
go. But I was just telling you, I don't like billboards. They distracting. Bye.
Bye. Yes, indeed. I think billboards help businesses. What you think? 504-582-9422. That is my number. All right, we got to take the break here. We'll take the break and go and load up the phones now. I think we need to see what folks are going to say about this because this is going to be interesting. Make sure that you get your calls in because I want to see. I'm probably going to put a poll up online in a minute, y'all. Everybody hold tight. More coming up next right here on WBOK.
Norman Robinson is back,
Can you hear me now?
and he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Discover the Leah Chase School, NOLA Public School's first new direct-run traditional public school in nearly 2 decades. We offer excellence in math, science, English, and social studies, focusing on unlocking every child's potential. Every scholar receives a personal device, regular assessments, clear family communication, as well as transportation services in a nurturing, arts-inclusive environment. Secure your child's K through 5th grade slot today. Apply at enrollnolaps.com and embark upon a unique educational journey.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month, a service of the community scientist and Rise St. James. This month, we're focusing on lead, a heavy metal that's dense, soft, and poses serious health risks. In Cancer Alley, lead exposure from industrial emissions or contaminated soil can significantly increase cancer risks and other health problems. Stay informed and protect your health. For more information, visit risestjames.org.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present the Keeping You Well Cafe, 60 minutes of LCMC Health, where doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of health care in the New Orleans area, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. Over the next few months, LCMC Health will join WBOK and local businesses to answer your health and wellness questions. Through this partnership, LCMC Health will provide resources to the community, including subject matter experts from the hospitals that will share expertise on health concerns and wellness practices to help you live your best life. Tune in to WBOK during the last hour of the reality check, or catch us at lcmchealth.org and follow us on social media.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. You know, as I looked at this situation, I said I was going to bring this to the airways on today. I had 2 different ways that I wanted to present this. And when I wanted to present it in a way where I'm like, okay, do I sound like I'm pro billboard or do I sound like I'm pro neighborhood without billboards? Because no matter how we look at where we are. And y'all understand something what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with not trying to say something that's going to have everybody that lives in New Orleans East calling the telephone lines and saying, you just don't like New Orleans East. Something wrong with you. Why you got something against New Orleans East? Nope. Y'all got to remember, I lived in New Orleans East twice. But I also hear and see, now y'all know I'm not lying on this, so I'm hoping that y'all will back me up. We hear a lot about businesses that open up in New Orleans East, and we all have that conversation. And I think New Orleans East business owners say it loud, but we just don't hear it sometimes. That these businesses need help. And I think that they need help to get folks that don't live in New Orleans East to help support them. What you trying to say, Gerard? No. How do you open up a marketplace for a business of bricks and mortar in a location other than social media that needs to capitalize on the hundreds of thousands of people that drive that I-10 corridor every single day? Y'all know that I'm telling the truth. Unless they running out of gas, they bypass you and keep on going. But even if I do own a gas station, a restaurant, why wouldn't something other than, like Universal Printing? How about if I needed some printing? And at some point in time, I'm in my office, and I know that Universal Printing is out there. I see their billboard. I see them on the billboard, and they got their telephone number up there. And I run an office place. I'm an administrative person, and I got to order paper. I need some printing, yada, yada, yada. And I'm one of those folks to say, hey, I'm a supporter of black business, but I didn't know that they were even there. But I passed by that billboard, and it sinks in my head like they there. Call the telephone number. Now I am creating a business that's in New Orleans East that now has my business. And guess what? I don't have to be in New Orleans East to support a business in New Orleans East. My office might be downtown, and I might live somewhere else. I might live in the East. I might live in Slidell. I might live on the North Shore somewhere. But if I go down I-10 down that corridor and pass through New Orleans East and see a billboard that says Universal Printing, here's our telephone number. We can handle it all. Let us know. Because the feedback that I'm getting, y'all, and that's where I want us to have this conversation. I'm having an issue with feedback that's coming from a lot of these businesses that might be a little nervous to say stuff because they know that the folks that are really behind, no, we don't want these billboards in New Orleans East, are going to push back on them, and they're only voicing their opinions as far as business owners. And what they're saying is they need some help. The other part of this is, and I think that this is where we really need to have a conversation. This is not billboards that's every mile up the road. I think in this article that we just read that Councilman Oliver Thomas said, hey, we can add as many we want or take down as many we want. There can be some type of moratorium on what's going to be there. But how about if you're trying to find out what's there, the next meeting? We ride by billboards every single day. When I go down Gentilly Boulevard, there's one. Isn't there a billboard sitting on top of a daggone building right there at the corner of what is that, Gentilly and Elysian Fields? It's sitting right there on top of the building. It's been there forever and a day. All right, we'll take some more of your telephone calls. More coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, y'all. News is next.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the Reality Check. Weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Vice President Harris is scheduled to visit the southern border today for the first time since she became the Democratic nominee for president. Former President Trump is criticizing Harris's visit. He said she could have fixed the border issues as vice president. The International Longshoremen's Association is threatening to go on strike unless there's a new contract. Analysts say it could be the most disruptive walkout to the United States economy in decades. More than 1 million people are without power in Florida after Hurricane Helene made landfall Thursday night. That's according to tracking site PowerOutages.us. The overall total in the Southeast is around 2 million, as tens of thousands of customers in Georgia and the Carolinas are also without power. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Celebrating hardworking teachers of New Orleans Public Schools is what we do best. Join New Schools for New Orleans, Allstate, Sugar Bowl, and Interstate New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our 3rd annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards Gala. If you want to check out the awardees and the schools where they teach at, please visit Noeta, Noeta.org. You can also purchase tickets to the gala via the website too. Let's send these teachers some love for all the hard work they do with our students.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
Welcome back. All right, coming in about 3 o'clock from the Vietnamese community, our very own former councilwoman, Cindy Nguyen, is going to join us about 3 to give us some insight on some things that's happening in the community. So make sure that you join us. I pulled up some information, and I'm wondering, I just thought that my New Orleans East folks were going to be outside picketing when I talked about this. But we have to. We do have to talk about this. Because the city council already done said, okay, cool. We're going to allow it, meaning billboards, to take place in the New Orleans East area. The question is, what type of billboard? What's the size of that billboard? Is it going to be a lit billboard, meaning one of those billboards that are flashers? They're electronic. And they are saying that there was never the intention to have a proliferation of billboards. And that came from Mr. Thomas, Councilman Thomas. But of course, he would want to say, hey, we need to have some billboards. We need somebody to be able to talk about my business. Now, Kia Scott, who's the owner of window tinting and auto glass on Lake Forest, said that she had it one time before, but it was, many years ago, and it didn't do a whole bunch of bringing an influx of business to your coffers. But I guess the question I would have is, do you think that it would change the mindset of folks in New Orleans East if I put up a billboard on I-10 and can get some of that business? And what would be the figures? So let's say that I know that we have on a daily basis 250,000 people that drive the highway I-10 coming and going through New Orleans East. And if by chance I have a billboard up, I know I'm going to capture these people and have them to pull over and do some business and get off on the exit in New Orleans East. But I also think there has to be identification of businesses where we know that this is your type of advertisement. This would be an advertisement that would work for you. Don't think that I'm being facetious, because I'm not, because those things do happen that way. How about if I got a boutique? I'm talking to the women. Maybe sounding a little chauvinist. How about if I got a boutique on Reed Boulevard? What's the shopping center over there in Reed Boulevard, right behind that Wendy's? What's the name of the shopping center? Somebody from the East tell me. What's the name of that shopping center that's right there off of Reed, right behind the Wendy's, off of Reed Boulevard? You know what I'm talking about? Nazarene Baptist Church is over there. I know they got an event hall over there. I think Carol Flowers. Well, let's use Carol Flowers. And Carol Flowers wanted to advertise her fitness studio. Currently, you have an abundance of people. And then, Mark, let me make sure that everybody understand how you get billboards, okay? This ain't giving them to nobody. A billboard more than likely can cost you anywhere, depending on the size, depending on the make. Now, let's say today's billboard, you have two different types. So this is what I want Mark to understand. Yep, you're right, where Blockbuster used to be, Mark. Today's billboards, you have two different types. You have the standard billboard where somebody comes out and puts your print up, and it stays there stationary 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for anywhere between a week, 2 weeks, or a whole month, or you have a plethora of months, depending on how much money you got. The most efficient, to me, billboards, if we had to think about what kind of billboards that we want it to be, would be the new billboards that flash. They're electronic billboards. So I not only have one business there, but I have several businesses that can advertise on that one billboard. You stay up somewhere between, 15, 20 seconds? You flash, somebody else comes on. So there wouldn't be just one business. So this wouldn't be the opportunity for somebody in another part of town, whether we're talking about Slidell or wherever. Now, they have the right to advertise. But how about if I wanted somebody to see my business and I said, I want to advertise and I did everything and I want y'all to put me up there too? Then the possibilities of those people that are traveling down I-10 to see Carol Flowers' studio and give out the telephone number, and somebody might call her and say, hey, look, I need you to help me with my workout. And she does some type of research, or somebody does some research for her and says, where did you get my number from and how did you find me? Oh, yeah, I was traveling down the highway and I saw your billboard. That's effective. That's effective. And I think flashers, those digital billboards, cost less because you're not there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, waiting for somebody to call you. You're there and you capture a crowd. You capture someone that saw you for those seconds. And it's not as disruptive because you're not removing your eyes from the road for a long period of time. Unless you're just a starer. Oh, look at the billboard as you're driving in the back of somebody. So if I wanted to be that business that I'm not on the main thoroughfare, meaning that if I get off on Reed Boulevard, I'm not right there at the exit. But I am somewhere closer to Chef Mentor, a little bit further down past the school, the fire chief, the fire unit, and the NOPD headquarters for 7th District, past Lake Forest. Then I got somewhere to advertise. I got somebody looking specifically for me. Or let's say I was on Lake Forest. And I tell you to get off of I-10, come down Reed Boulevard, make a right there at the light, and you on Lake Forest, and you can find me. You are a client that I am specifically looking for. Will that help the economics of New Orleans East? Yay and nay. Do you think that will help the economics? I think it out. Look. It can't hurt. And that's where I'm getting off on. Why do the people of New Orleans East think this is going to hurt them? And I think that we really need to consider, before you open up your mouth and say, oh, we ain't got nothing out here. Why? How we helping driving these folks' business? Because I can tell you what gets on my nerves, opening up a business and 3 months or 6 months later down there, they're closing it up. Why? Because they don't have no business. Let me ask you this. For my friends in New Orleans East. Did y'all know you got a Who That's Chicken in New Orleans East? Did y'all know that you have one in New Orleans East? I know you got Popeyes. They right there off of right off the highway. They got the prime location. Everybody go to Popeyes. They got a line out the yin yang. Why? Because they got that great big old sign that goes 60, 70 feet up in the air like a billboard. Have y'all noticed that? Saying Popeyes. Same thing with McDonald's. Those very recognizable golden arches reach 50, 60 feet up in the air and light up. Oh. Oh. So I'm asking you, what's the difference? Please come with some facts instead of what you don't like. I don't like all the potholes. I don't like being on the highway looking over in the grass high. But what is it? Come with the facts. Is it facts? Or is it what you don't like? And are you saying you don't like it because you don't have the facts? I know that's a lot to think about, ain't it? There is a lot to think about. And unless you can put it down the way that, I'm trying to make it sound, I need you to understand something. I need you to give me the specific reasons why this is such a bad idea. Or are we just not open to try something new? I'm going to get in trouble, Jazz. I'm going to get in trouble. Because what's killing me on this one is the ones that are telling me, no, I don't like. Well, I hate to tell you this, but I don't like the fact that you almost are sitting there dormant. Don't y'all want some business? If there's a possibility of bringing some out there, wouldn't you want to try it? And aren't you the first ones to say, I hate going somewhere else to do business, or somebody leaves here to go do business? How come we're not trying to bring them to the East? Is it me? Because what I don't like is a whole lot different than what I need. What I need is not what I like. And if you got a better idea on bringing them in there, how come we haven't tried it yet? Is it me? Is it me? I do think that at some point in time, the conversation has got to be with everybody and saying, hey, this is what we need to do instead of what we like to do. I'd like to have houses lined all the way up down I-10 with starting prices of $600,000. But could you afford it? I know I couldn't. What you say, Mr. Darren?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
I'm great. And no, it's not you. It's not you. You're telling the truth. You absolutely. And I don't understand why nobody wouldn't like the fact of having the billboards. But stepping back a little bit, it's not about just having the advertisement. It's not. That's definitely a way to advertise once you have a business established. But before you can establish a business, man, you got to draw attention to a business owner that want to come out here. First of all, I know I don't have any paper facts or number facts if that's what you asked for as far as facts, but it's obvious. The facts are obvious if you look.
The facts are obvious that the traffic is continuously going either one way or the other to Slidell.
You're absolutely right.
Or
you're
downtown.
Absolutely right.
Right.
And if you're a business, a person trying to establish a business in an area, and you look out at some of the areas in the East, it's obvious that some of the reason why some businesses close down when they're out here, because they're not treated like they should be treated by their own. And it's obvious, it's a fact that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I'm looking at some businesses right there, riding up Chef Highway, and it's a mess. It's nasty.
Right.
Trash all along the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can advertise and put billboards and all of that stuff. I'm looking at the billboard right now, coming apart. But if I'm a business person and looking for an area to establish, yes, the East would be a perfect area to grow because they have the land is here to do it, to just grow.
Right.
But you look around, man, it's a mess. You get off the interstate to get here to look at it, that'll turn you back around right there.
Right.
Get off at Diamond Road. I don't know if you've gotten off at the Diamond exit onto Shep. They got trash that's been on that bridge along that little turn, getting off on Diamond. It's been there forever.
Wow.
It's been there forever. And if I'm a business, an entrepreneur establishing a business somewhere out here, I'm looking at all of that stuff. Business owners that are out here, you got people loitering in front of your place all day long, trash in front of your building. If I'm a business owner, why would I want to open up my place, a new establishment, next to something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. The advertisement, I don't understand. You say that some people don't like the billboard idea?
Yeah, that's the big deal right now. Because there's going to be a big conversation about it, but I'm gonna actually reach out for the councilman too to kind of give us some insight on it, on why the city council changed their mind. But I do think it's about that time. And all billboards are not the same size. They're not the same. That's going to sit there and look the same. And a lot of them have now become electronic.
Yes, they are. And they only put the electronic ones. And they depending on where the location is, it determines the fact. I mean, the price of what it is that you pay.
Right.
You can put you want a billboard at a Superdome. That's a high traffic. That's a high traffic area. That's an area right there. Right. A high traffic area. You're gonna pay a lot of money for that.
Yep.
You probably won't pay as much when you come in, up the high rise or right up, in the east somewhere.
Right.
So, yes, it's effective if you have a business and you want to put a billboard up.
Mm-hmm.
And to somebody that think that it's, they shouldn't have them now, that's crazy. That's crazy. But
I do think that the area has been, and I don't want to say, stuck in their own ways. I think the folks that are against having the billboards are looking at their areas like we are a bricks and mortar family house oriented neighborhood. And I'm saying to myself, you can still be that way. I think what was said is there's not a proliferation of billboards like you see going down I-10 when you get to Mississippi, and they got 5 different billboards saying, here's who's coming to perform at the casino.
The casino.
Right.
You're absolutely right. You're right. And I don't see that what's wrong with having billboards up. I mean, it could be a distraction to some that, because I remember years ago that they said they were going to stop putting billboards up. The ones that were already up, they were not putting up any more, like the poles to have them up by the interstates because it will become a distraction. Mm. And now, they I don't know if you remember, they had like I guess you would call it a 3-dimensional or 4D type, not 4D, but 3D type billboard years ago. They had right there off of, just as you're coming off of the high rise, Crown Royal had one, and they had the guy hanging clothes, and it was, you look at it, I mean, you take your eyes off of it, and you're like, is that somebody actually, it was like a blow up, or it was
I'll give you a better one. The man was hanging off the ladder on the billboard.
That's the one I'm talking about.
And then you also had the cows.
Chick-fil-A with the cow.
Right. They were doing their Eat More Chicken.
That's right. Now, those things are, I mean,
they're funny.
I like it. It is. I mean, you on a family trip and you riding, you sitting in traffic. Yeah, it's funny. You see the billboard. But for some, it became, they said it was a distraction. And probably was somebody that was on a bus saying it was a distraction. But I thought it was fun, to see them.
We have billboards, and I don't know why. I think that we get confused about billboards. We have billboards that are in our neighborhoods, whether we want to say that, because we've taken billboards on this one and we kind of put it into one area and one area only. But we have billboards in New Orleans East all the time. That big sign that is right there off of I-10 at Reed, and it sticks 40, 50 feet up in the air, and it says Popeyes. That is a billboard. The one across the street that has the Golden Arches. You know what the Golden Arches is? That's McDonald's. That's a billboard.
Uh-huh.
The one right there at Diamond, when you're getting ready to go up to the high rise, as you're going into the city, it tells you what the lottery numbers are. That is a billboard.
Now, I can see that being the ones that's advertising specifically like the Golden Arch and Popeyes with their sign. I think there may be like a fine line somewhere in the definition of what a billboard is and what advertisement on your building or on your property is. Now, I get it as far as the lottery thing. I would consider that being a billboard off of the interstate.
Yep.
But Popeyes have theirs up high. I don't think that's considered. I wouldn't think that's considered a billboard.
Why not?
Popeyes because it's not a billboard advertisement like off.
Yeah, it is.
It's saying come to my business.
It's a billboard.
Come to my business.
What a billboard does.
Say come to my business, but I think I think that there may be a fine line of definition of what a billboard is versus
just a regular advertisement.
The WBOK sign is on your wall,
that's a billboard
on your building.
That's a billboard.
It is a billboard, but you get what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. You're trying to say the difference between the types of billboards. And that's what I'm saying to everybody else. Just because I got my logo high up in the air, is that just my advertisement? Or would that be considered a billboard from somebody far away coming down I-10? I want some chicken. Get off. Why? They're Popeyes. It's a locator.
And if Hudak can afford to put a 50, 60, I don't know how tall that thing is, I'm sure they would do the same thing.
No, they wouldn't, because they can't. They're off of Lake Forest, and you can't see them. But I got 300,000 folks coming down I-10. I want to be able to put a billboard that I could get some of these folks that's going to Popeyes to come to my business.
I agree with you. I agree with you on the billboard.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that think differently about it, I mean, it's very effective.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, Darren.
All right, you have a good day.
You do the same, brother. Have a good weekend. All right, more coming up. Let me see. Cora and let's see. Claude, everybody. Hold on. Claudia. That's Claudia. Everybody hold on. We're coming right back.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Every day, the RTA gets thousands of New Orleanians where they need to be. Whether you're headed downtown, the 9th Ward, or Algiers, our buses, ferries, and iconic streetcars are going your way. Rolling with the RTA is a smart way to help you save money and the environment. Download the La Pass app today to plan your ride, get real-time arrival information, or make mobile payments. Because the RTA is how New Orleans rolls.
Welcome back to school, families and scholars. NOLA Public Schools is excited to kick off another exciting year of learning, growth, and success. Our dedicated teachers have been preparing all summer to provide an engaging and enriching experience for every student. Let's embrace new challenges, celebrate achievements, and make this school year the best one yet. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS by visiting our social media channels. Here's to a year filled with curiosity, creativity, and community. Attend today, achieve tomorrow.
It's no secret that in New Orleans, we love good food just as much as we love our community. So why not make groceries while supporting local food producers too? Crescent City Farmers Market hosts year-round, rain or shine, where you can buy the region's freshest in-season produce, dairy, meat, seafood, and more. Using SNAP benefits at our market is easy, and with Market Match, you can double your dollars. Yes, that's right. Swipe your EBT card and we'll match every SNAP dollar, doubling your grocery budget so you can purchase more fresh fruits, vegetables, and food-bearing plants. Check us out on social media and visit us at marketumbrella.org for dates and locations. See you at the market. September is National Recovery Month and time to celebrate the millions of Americans in recovery. Metropolitan Human Services District wants to remind you that treatment is effective and everyone can recover. If you are looking for a recovery program and you live in the Orleans, St. Bernard, or Plaquemines Parish, visit mhsdla.org or call 504-568-3130. Recovery is possible, and MHSD is here to help. Metropolitan Human Services District, where we change lives.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune in to the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune in to the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you on Friday. Yes, indeed. Beginning of the weekend. Whatever you do safely and carefully is the way we want you to do it this weekend. There's a lot of stuff happening in the city, too. Gotta be careful out there, too, with all this different weather we having, too. All right, let's get back to the phone lines at 504-582-9422. Corin.
Are you saying Corinne?
It's Corinne. I'm sorry. He can't spell.
Okay, yeah, this is Corinne.
It's Miss Villavasso?
This is Miss Villavasso. Yes, sir, it is.
Yep. I know one. I don't know nobody named Corinne. I know one person named Corinne. Corinne Villavasso. How you doing? I'm
doing good. So let's. I want to talk billboards. So before I get into what I have to say about the billboards, I oppose the billboards, and I'm gonna tell you why. I want to
oppose it?
I want to address a couple of things that's being misinformed. Thinking about this is nothing personal for nobody, no elected officials or nothing. So in New Orleans East, the people that have opposition to the billboards, they're not opposition to the billboards in its entirety. We're saying that the billboards should not be close to residential living. And any place in New Orleans East along the I-10 service road is very close proximity to residential living.
Now give me a proximity. What's the proximity of residential living?
So if you're talking, if anywhere between from Downman Road to the I-510, you have subdivisions that abut the I-10 service road that go in and out from the service road, including my subdivision. Then you also have some commercial areas that where you had the former where Bayou Braces is and those places that's on the service road. But immediately behind that are homes. Mm-hmm. So the reason why the concern is because across the country, let's be real, I did the research. Across the country, billboards are being banned in various cities across the country, and across multiple states have banned them altogether in states. That's number one. You have our neighboring parishes, St. Tammany Parish and Jefferson Parish, who are banning billboards. Why are they banning billboards? They are banning billboards because we are, number one, we are storm prone. We are storm prone with hurricanes, high winds, tornadoes, and everything like that. So with the billboards being close to residential housing, and a good storm come through here, then that's damage. So now you have an issue with damage. Then you have issues with liability. Then you have issues with insurance. So that's one point I want to make. The second point is about this is to advertise New Orleans East businesses. Do we know the average cost of a paper billboard? It's $5,000 a month. That includes the installation, and the advertisement for a month is approximately $5,000 a month. A lot of our small, so we can't just place it on the fact that, we need a billboard to advertise the small businesses in New Orleans East, because that's incorrect. They also have small businesses in New Orleans East have the option to purchase the small. You can talk to Alicia Plummer about this, and former Senator Wesley Bishop about the signs that tells you exit this number to go here, and you can McDonald's here at this exit. We all travel to I-10. So they have an option to purchase that space on those signs. They're not even buying that. Then when you look at data, small businesses spend 2%, new starter businesses, according to the SBA, spend 1 to 2% on marketing and advertisement. So 1 to 2% of their profit on marketing and advertisement. So they're not going to buy the billboards. We will have everything else advertised in New Orleans East. That's not New Orleans East. That's number one. The billboards is a moneymaker, and a moneymaker for the person that owns the billboards. The community will not benefit from these billboards. Number two, the next thing, where my subdivision where I live at, the back of my house faces the I-10 service road. When I go out in my backyard, I don't want to see Mr. Binky's adult store, Crown Royal, Bud Light, and that be a view in my backyard, because I bought my house without a billboard in my backyard. So when I try to sell my house and someone view that can hurt me. That can hurt my property value, because I have a clear view from my backyard. I can still see the sassafras sign that's dilapidated. I can still see the old Chevron sign frame from that's in front of Chevron on Bullitt from my backyard. And before Katrina, that light was so bright, I had to buy a curtain to block the light from going in my children's bedroom. So when you talk about the lights and the amount of lights that's going to put off, that's an issue. That's a problem. The next thing I want to address is the process. The reason why the community feels the way they feel is because this process was done in silos. There was absolutely no notification to property owners, no notification to Enonoc. We found out about it through word of mouth, and so this process was done by city council motion. My question is why we are changing the zoning law to accommodate one person that owns property. And I had an elected official came up to me at the New Orleans East Fest. This is to confirm that they are doing it for one person, which is a problem. You comprehensively amending and changing the zoning ordinance in the law to benefit one person and one property owner. That's a problem. That's arbitrary and capricious. You can't do that. And it was confirmed by a fellow council member, not Oliver, but a fellow council member. And his words to me, he asked me, he said, why do you have a problem to let this man put these billboards on his property that he have in the East? So that confirms for me that you are changing the entire law to accommodate one person and one person only.
Okay.
That's a problem I have. The next thing I want to say.
Oh, you got more?
Yeah, because we're on the radio station and we never had this holistic conversation as a community, and we were deprived of that opportunity. So we go to city council, you got 2 minutes to talk. We never had this conversation with the community, and that's the problem. So now trust is severed. So if you want the billboards, we have no objection for the billboards to stay right where they are at the end of Chef Endowment, at the bottom of the high rise, and on the other side of 510. I don't want a billboard in my backyard. And I think a lot of people that owns property in the East don't want to buy in a billboard in their backyard. Billboards take up a lot of space. You don't realize that. And stop saying it's for New Orleans East businesses, because it's not. You cannot regulate what you put on a sign. They could put whatever they want on their sign. He could sell his advertisements to whoever he wants to. It's a money maker. They're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you to get what they want, just like Dayton. Then you find out the real thing.
So let me ask you this. Okay. So me being in the business, I've purchased billboards for clients that I have had, and I didn't pay $5,000 a month. And even with hold on, let me finish. I'll let you say everything you want to say, Corinne. No, you're gonna listen to me for a minute. Let me finish. Corinne, I'm gonna hang up if you don't let me finish. You're not gonna overtalk me on my show.
But don't misquote me, and I'll be okay.
No, that's what you said. You said they cost about $4,000-$5,000 a year, and they can't afford it. I'm just saying. I went and I wrote down everything you said. Okay.
I didn't say a year. I said a month.
Okay, a month. They don't cost $4,000 or $5,000 a month.
I said an average. I also said an average.
No. Listen
and
to
I
me.
said it included installation.
Just listen to me, okay?
Okay,
Don't be
all
so
right.
sensitive with me.
Oh, no, I'm not. I just don't
Yeah,
wanna
I
be
think so.
misquoted.
I really
Okay.
do. So listen to me for a minute. I let you
Okay.
say everything you want to say, so hear me out. That's not true about everything being $4,000 or $5,000 a month. It also has to do with the number of people that are passing by. There have been studies that have done that there are sizes that you can talk about a billboard that's going to cost $4,000 or $5,000 a month that is stationary. It's going to be there for, you see those $200,000-$300,000. I'm sorry, 200,000 or 300,000 people that are going to pass by there every single day. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't have a flasher. And then have they talked about the location where they're going to put them? And how many?
They have. Yes.
It's going to be in your backyard?
Yes, I can see. I will be able to see it from my backyard. Yes, I would.
Okay. So
will Lake Carmel subdivision.
when did you buy your house?
Cameron.
Because at the same time that you're telling me that you didn't want it there, you also bought your house, but you also told me there was a Chevron sign and something else there.
That's not a billboard sign. That's not a billboard sign.
But
that
you still bought your house there with the lights and stuff, though, right?
No. A marquee monument sign is different from a billboard sign.
Okay.
A marquee monument sign is something that goes on a business property.
All right. So I've had
That's
this
up in the air.
conversation
Okay,
before
but a
with
billboard
Dawn.
is not a marquee sign. That's two different
So
things.
listen to me again. I've had this conversation one time before with Dawn, and I told Dawn, I said, was there ever a presentation that was put to you all beforehand?
No.
I'm asking you the same question.
No.
So before y'all say no to it, why didn't somebody ask, well, let's see a presentation first?
We did. And let me tell you this, Gerard. This is the third time we've been through this. This is not the first time
I know.
we dealt
That's
with
why I
this
tell you, I
billboard
had the
situation.
conversation with Dawn before.
So we've been through this. I'm just going to sum it up to you just like this. I do not want billboards in my neighborhood.
All right.
They can put the billboard and make sure that when we're talking that we understand the difference between a billboard and the sign that McDonald's have or Popeyes have. That is not a billboard. That is two distinct different things.
Got you. All right.
That is not the same thing. So I do not want billboards in my backyard. I just don't. And the problem was the whole process. No one never came to the community that will be adversely impacted by this and given us the opportunity to say why.
So how about if I do a show out at the New Orleans East Library and ask all the New Orleans East residents to come to there and have a conversation about it?
No, that's not your job. That's the council job because they're the ones who's
Why that's not
proposing
my
it.
job? I do a talk show.
Because
Why would
it's
I
not
want
your
to?
job. It's not your job because you're not the decision maker. The council is the decision makers. So our pledge and our testimony should be heard before the city council and taken into consideration.
All right, Corinne.
That
Thanks.
is where our testimony should be warranted and welcomed.
All right. Appreciate
And it's not-
appreciate
yeah,
the call.
so-
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Councilman Thomas.
Yeah, I'm as frustrated as you are because I think the reason why you were frustrated is because you understand the industry. You've been in that business before, and you know many of the things that were said were misrepresented. The first thing I'm reading here is a billboard study, a strategy in June of 2024. It's called Rule of the Streets: How Billboards Create Advertising Strategy and Add Values to Communities. What do they say in that report? Billboards reach a large audience because they're positioned in high traffic areas. This is the other part of it from December 2023. Other offer brands that have the ability to attract a wide variety of customers using advertising formats, which can not only cut costs, but represent research niches. And that article in 2023, December, it says how billboard advertising is effective. So how do you have 2023 reports and studies that contradict the last caller? The other thing is, I'm the person who the first time this came up actually killed it, right? And I think it was the second time it had been done in a couple of years.
Mm.
It came back up again, Gerard, because business owners, many who don't want to get into public battles and fighting their neighbors publicly, asked me to revisit it, and the fact that there were meetings with New Orleans East Matters, who represent hundreds of citizens, who asked that the effort be revisited so that they could have advertising like much of the community. I just finished driving down veterans and some residential parts of Jefferson, and guess what I saw, Gerard?
What's that?
I saw billboards.
Mm-hmm.
I also called one of my colleagues there and asked if they were banning billboards. They said, no, there's nothing that's come before them to ban billboards. So for me, this is not a proliferation, because the community and business owners and members of New Orleans East Matters, who had a public meeting, I think a couple public meetings about it, asked me to revisit it. I did the democratic thing, right? And so the question was, how do we do something where there's a compromise? And you got to know, and you know from some of the battles in New Orleans East, but guess what is major irony about this? The billboard ban that they did a couple of decades ago after Katrina, coincides with the decline of New Orleans East. We want a Target, but they can't advertise. We want a 5-star restaurant, but they can't advertise. Oliver Thomas would never do anything to hurt or destroy the community where he came from. But Oliver Thomas doesn't own New Orleans East, and no one person, right, or one group owns New Orleans East. That's been the problem in the past, man. There have been so many squabbles, right, about developments that could have gone to the east, where there could have been a compromise that people took other places because people were acting as if they owned our community and they were the only voice. This came up because there were members of the community that respectfully thought differently from the people who had worked to ban it in the past.
So, Oliver, as I go down I-10 and I'm in Jefferson Parish, I see billboards. I also see that in those communities that they have the billboards are residential communities.
Which was another.
But hold on, let me throw this in here, because this is important to what was said, what Corinne was saying, and I'm like, maybe I need to do a show about this, and she told me no, I shouldn't do a show about why. That's not my job. Please don't tell me what my job is. I know what my job is, and my job is to get the information out to make sure that everybody understands both sides. Ain't got nothing to do with her. Don't have nothing to do with the situation. It has everything to do with everybody that wants to voice their opinion. Maybe we need to have this conversation in a live setting. So
Gerard,
both sides. And then the third part of that is, Oliver, you do have billboards in New Orleans in residential areas. As I go down Gentilly and Elysian Fields, right there at the corner, at that light, there's a billboard on top of the building.
Stevie Wonder and Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles can tell you. And look, this isn't really much of this is about control, right? Who owns the East? Whose voice is stronger than the other? And it's not really about destroying a community. And guess what? I would never allow a proliferation of billboards, right? There are certain entrances and exits. There are certain properties that are commercial where we can consider it. And guess what? Not only could you consider it where it would not affect residential communities, but you could get those business owners or the people who own the advertising spots to agree to allow advertising free of charge, right? To a lot of the business owners who live in the community, who New Orleans East, man, we're starving for investment. We're starving for investment, but we also want to protect our residential community. A lot of this has to do about who's in charge, who can control this, who can control that. Even if I'm not the councilman, that kind of stuff has to stop. It's cost millions of dollars of investment in New Orleans East. And right now we have some momentum. We didn't have this momentum before I became councilman. We were not one of the safest districts with the highest reduction of crime before I became councilman. We didn't have Ty Nola and Patio 17 and Ito's and all the Orleans Brothers or Advano before I became councilman. So this elected official isn't going to do anything to destroy or not protect the area where his family owns property, right? Everything my family owns is in New Orleans East or the lower Ninth Ward. But this thing about who's in charge and who owns the East That stuff has to stop. And it was a public discussion. It was a public discussion when it came up years ago. It was a public discussion when it came up with under Cindy Wynn. It was a public discussion when I stopped it and went along with the denial a year ago. And it's been a public discussion now with public meetings. I think New Orleans East Matters is a public group. I think they've had this discussion quite a few times. So, I can't control who goes to those meetings or not. But the one thing that I can assure my community is that everything that I've done is to help this community, up to the point of leading in permits and developments and leading in crime reduction. So if I've been part of that, why would I be part of doing something that would negatively affect communities or even the residential community that I'm in? I understand politics, man, and I understand personalities. There are some people that if you're not their politician, if you're not in their neighborhood organization, they don't mind hurting you. I don't want to hurt anybody. All I want to do is make sure New Orleans East can flourish and New Orleans East can grow. If we stood alone, we'd be the 6th or 7th largest city in the state. We ought to be able to at least have the rights that all other communities have, whether it's to ban billboards in some residential communities, allow billboards so businesses can advertise, have growth and development, not the kind of growth and development just because Oliver Thomas wants or some particular neighborhood representative wants, but the kind of growth that benefits this community, man. And then the other thing about billboards decreasing value, that's not true. There was a study done on that too, where advertising can actually help increase property value and commercial property value.
So let me make sure I got something too, because I want to go back to what Corinne said. Will this billboard, one of these billboards, will they be in her backyard?
No. No. Yeah, but look, I live in Lake Willow. I can see the chapel or the steeple at Franklin Avenue. I could say that's in my backyard, but it's not, if you get my drift.
Right.
And I think that's the point you were trying to prove with the Chevron or the gas station signs. Look, there shouldn't be any subterfuge, man. This should be really a calm conversation where no one wants to disrespect a radio host or no one wants to mischaracterize it. I love the folk in New Orleans East, man. I love the people in Enonak. I love the people in New Orleans East Matters. I love the people. And I love the people who want to do business on Crowder and Bullard and Chef and Reed. And I would love to make sure that we continue to grow commercially and residentially.
Yeah.
So then the question is, if all of these prohibitions have been so great, why 10 years ago were people exiting the East? Why were businesses leaving the East? If these prohibitions were that great, and why do they do it? Why do they do it in the neighborhoods that you mentioned, and why do they do it around St. Charles? Why do they do it in Earhart? So my question is, definitely no proliferation, man. Look, there are going to be more areas where you can't do it when we take a strategic look at this than areas where you can.
Right.
Period. So look, people are going to use a whole lot of things. All you're trying to cast aspersions to make it seem like it's some backroom deal. Man, I'm not afraid of that, man, because I'm from my community, man. I don't have to cast aspersions on people. And let me tell you, my mother told me a long time ago, anybody that's got to go out of their way to shine their halo and cast aspersions on somebody else, that's probably somebody that's really trying to hurt people and up to no good.
Councilman, thank you, brother. I appreciate you much.
Good, thank you, man. Bless you.
All right, talk to you in a minute. All right, we got to take a break here, folks. We'll come back. Miss Claudia, I know you've been on hold for a minute. Hold on, we coming back. Let us take a break here, and we'll come right back.
Welcome back to school, families and scholars. NOLA Public Schools is excited to kick off another exciting year of learning, growth, and success. Our dedicated teachers have been preparing all summer to provide an engaging and enriching experience for every student. Let's embrace new challenges, celebrate achievements, and make this school year the best one yet. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS by visiting our social media channels. Here's to a year filled with curiosity, creativity, and community. Attend today, achieve tomorrow. Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
It's Gerald McBride here, letting you know how Chevrolet is supporting the next generation of black professionals. For the 8th summer in a row, Chevrolet is teaming up with the National Newspaper Publishers Association to power the futures of 10 multi-talented, historical black college and university students with the Discover the Unexpected Fellowship. Together, these stellar fellows will drive their legacy, owning their story in the Chevrolet tracks. Visit nnpa.org/ChevyDTU to learn more.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Greetings, WBOK family. This is Jason Clark, host of United Way and You. Be sure to tune in next Thursday at 12 p.m. when we'll be speaking with Melanie Richardson, co-founder and executive director of Training Grounds, a United Way funded partner. The topic will be the We Play, We Connect Family Resource Hub. Please tune in if you're able. Until then, we only have one life to live, so live united.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Coming up at the top of the hour, we've got news. What you say, Miss Claudia?
Yes.
How are you? Thank you for holding. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you to the other speakers who have spoken on behalf of billboards. So I'm going to say right off the bat, I am not for the council motion that was passed for the billboards to be implemented from Dowman to 510 along Interstate 10.
Mm-hmm.
So my reason, and I want to start off first talking about billboards. And Corinne did mention about the different kinds. And you alluded to the fact that they have different types. So there are tourist-oriented directional signs. We have logo signs. And we have the billboards, which are generally defined as signs that advertise their services and good advertisements. And most often, they are not on the property where those goods and services are available.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the on-premise signs, and then you have those signs that talk about goods and services that are located somewhere else, like that Mr. Binky billboard that is advertising services in Chalmette and in Jefferson Parish.
Why y'all stuck on Mr. Binky so much? I mean,
because it's offensive that you don't even have this in our neighborhood, but you have the signs in a high traffic area.
Well, where's Mr. Binky's in your high traffic area? Where is it?
The sign is on the high rise.
Mr. Binky's is on the high rise.
The sign
On what side of the high rise? Before Downing?
on the side coming east.
Okay. It's funny to me that when we have that conversation about what is in the East and what ain't in the East, y'all are very convenient to tell me when I make a comment about New Orleans East when you don't want something, that is not New Orleans East where Diamond Road is.
No. Wait. You asked where it was.
No. I'm saying to you, it's very funny
I
to
got
me.
you, Gerard.
Like
I'm not going to fuss.
No.
About
It's like
that.
going to New Orleans East. I know what you're talking
that.
about. It's very funny, though, that folks have that conversation about, well, that sign going to New Orleans East. Is that New Orleans East? No, it's not.
Geographically, no.
Yeah, geographically, no. So how about if they had that sign right before Louisa, or right before Gentilly, or right before New Orleans, when we get off of Orleans Avenue or St. Bernard? How about if that sign was right there?
It's still bad.
It'd still be bad, though. But they could advertise there for their right, though, right?
You have a First Amendment right to advertise.
So
and you
what's the
cannot
difference
prohibit.
between them, the gun shows, the billboards for the lawyers that say, you in an accident? And I'm not being facetious with you, Miss Claudia. I just want us to make sure that, let's not put this in a position where, I need to make it sound bad so that everybody agree with me.
Okay, and I got that.
Okay.
But
I'm with
all
you.
of the signs, I'm finding it offensive that we have so many attorney signs also that are just advertising in our neighborhoods. But how much reinvestment are they doing in our community?
None.
Because those same liquor advertisements, cigarette advertisements, lawyer advertisements, or whatever else type of advertisements are on those large billboards that dominates what we see, they could be investing in the festivals that are out in the East.
So I got to ask you, though, Miss Claudia, I got to ask you, how come this is coming up now and nobody has said that? Because, and God forgive me for everybody in the East, and I hope they don't take this the wrong way, but when I lived in the East, and the first time I lived in the East, we were all encompassed. Everything that I needed, I could get in the East. Now what I see in the East is the average person that has a house out there, bricks and mortar, has to leave the East to go shopping. They got to leave the East to go do what they need to do. But if I had to be able to say to you or anybody else that has property out there in the East, ain't it time that we do something different to bring business to the East? And did you get a chance to say, and did you ever think about in marketing, why are those I would say mid 50, 60, 70-year-old white men advertising billboards to black people? Because we go running to them to get money. But we got a whole bunch of black lawyers that we don't even talk to, and they not advertising because they can't afford it.
Gerard, and I think that's another thing when it comes to talking about hosting something like a community forum. Most often, it's great to have great questions to ask your audience so that we can get feedback. But to be honest, we want to have great dialogue, we want to have people to have input and be able to express their ideas and opinions. We need to have a non-biased type of, a non-judgmental type of format also. So I understand this is your show and you can very well voice a lot of your opinions on it.
Hold on, no.
Hold us to call in and give some feedback.
Hold that thought. Don't go nowhere. Don't hang up on me. Hold that thought. More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the Reality Check. Weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The governor of Georgia says nearly a dozen people have died in Georgia as a result of Helene. Governor Brian Kemp gave an update. Kemp said one of those deaths includes a first responder. He said there are people trapped in structures throughout his state, and the rescues are ongoing. Plenty of people are still without power. California is officially apologizing for the damage inflicted by slavery and discrimination on black Californians. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the apology Thursday along with a number of other bills suggested by the state's reparations task force. The task force has spent months researching how racism affected the descendants of enslaved people. The founder of the gangster Disciple Street Gang in Chicago, Illinois, is seeking an early release from prison from multiple life sentences. Larry Hoover appeared in Chicago federal court via a video feed from a Supermax prison in Colorado. Hoover said he was a completely different person. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Celebrating hardworking teachers of New Orleans Public Schools is what we do best. Join New Schools for New Orleans, Allstate, Sugar Bowl, and Interstate New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our 3rd annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards Gala. If you want to check out the awardees in the schools where they teach at, please visit Noeta, Noeta.org. You can also purchase tickets to the gala via the website too. Let's send these teachers some love for all the hard work they do with our students.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. All right, 504-582-9422. Miss Claudia? Miss Claudia?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to cut you off.
That's okay.
I didn't want you to hang up on me here, but I had to get that news on, and I know you're getting ready to light me up. So go ahead.
No, I am not. I am not.
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because this is the other thing, and I just want to say I understand some of what Corinne was talking about when she wasn't literally talking about it in her backyard, but figuratively, you can see some of these large illuminated signs from your homes, and that is a concern for people that they're going to be bombarded. And let me just say this: I was down at the zoning council meeting today. Mm-hmm. They had 19 different propositions to be considered regarding billboards. And that's another thing. If we allow billboards in the residential area, that sets a precedent for others to come. So these companies look like they were asking, because there are laws that says you cannot have a billboard, say, within 1,000 feet of another or 500 feet from whatever kind of position that they're currently in. So they are asking for waivers. And most often, zoning might say, no, we're not going to grant you because we have enough. But then when you have a council person who can come in and say, well, zoning, I'm going to overrule you, we're not necessarily going to the people, but I am just going to say I'm overruling you. And I know we have large organizations in the East, but large organization does not necessarily touch all the people in our communities. And that is also demonstrated with voting. You look at the number of people who are out here voting. You look at the number of people who are attending events in the East. It has to be something that will really catch their attention. And this billboard is catching the attention of a lot of people.
So one of the things that I found out, one of the things I found out, and I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of tit for tat with anybody else, and I'm not talking about you. I hope you don't think I am. Is the fact that some of those folks that are giving us pushback on this or saying something about it have ulterior motives. They actually have billboard companies that they are part of, and they're pushed back about one billboard or one billboard company because they're actually the ones that are in front, and they're pushing back about the other billboard companies. And you just put in the fact that they have amendments about 19 other billboards or amendments to do billboards. Is that one company or is that all of them?
I'm not really sure. I just looked at the area when I was looking at the proposal.
So let me make sure I got this right from you. You do not want, but you do not want billboards on I-10.
Not in the residential area.
But what area would that be? Past 510, that exit?
That would be past, you know that sign that says, Welcome to New Orleans East?
Yeah, that's right there, 510, yes.
It can go right back there, or 510 is not, there's no residence really nearby 510.
Right. You just headed into the Little Woods area if you go that way.
No,
either Little or going to Chalmette. Going to Chalmette.
I'm not going that way. I'm going from the interstate towards Chef.
Okay.
Because that was the parameters that was put out there. So Reed, along Reed Boulevard, along Crowder, that's not in the parameters that was being proposed. It's along the interstate and 510 Chef.
So what are these businesses? What are these businesses? And I want your opinion on this one. What do these businesses that are investing in New Orleans East on those corridors of Crowder, Reed, Morrison, Bullard, what do they do to improve their contact with a plethora of people, over 300,000 people that are traveling in and out of the city, going I-10 east and west? And I just want to get a portion of those folks that will get off on my exit and coming buy my products. What do I do?
Okay, so we have accessible locations already. And I'm thinking, let's look at those locations. If you want a billboard, then look at those locations that have already been
Where would that be?
That's the flyover by Claiborne. That's that area going towards Chapatoulas.
By
that's
Claiborne?
The area, Dowman, all of that. Yes, because a billboard does not have to, and also a portion of 610. A billboard does not have to actually be on the site in order to advertise. Billboards are used to state, oh, this is coming up. I mean, you could be in Baton Rouge and advertise something in New Orleans. You do not necessarily have to be here physically as a billboard to say I'm
so Ms.
advertising
Claudia,
my business.
you have advertising experience? I'm like, where did they do that at?
Look, I was on my way to South Carolina last month, and I'm traveling through Georgia. And, everybody's in the Buc-ee's phases, right? So, and even going towards Texas off I-10, Buc-ee's, they'll tell you, I am 38 miles away. I'm 101 miles away. And Georgia had one that says 208 miles away. So it does not have to actually be there. What we need to look at is how is this city helping these small businesses with advertisement?
I've seen several Buc-ee's. As a matter of fact, when I was in Alabama, I saw the Buc-ee's advertisement. It did say that. It said Buc-ee's exit 1 mile.
It has that too, but they also I'm not debating it. If I need to find out where it's located,
I want you to tell me that one, because me and you got to go through our advertisement together. We got to do that together.
Yeah, but also just traveling. We travel a lot to Houston area. We travel a lot to Round Rock. Round Rock, and this is a little bit off the subject, but it's still on the subject. They have this Kalahara Resort, an amusement center. It's on Highway 79, and I forgot the cross street. It was built during the height of the pandemic. They built it within like a year's time. My daughter lived off of Highway 79. There is not one billboard that tells you in that area that this is Kalahara and you need to exit. But we go to Washington, D.C., and we're talking with people, and we're just talking, and the man tell me, hey, man, I just left Kalahara, 79, Round Rock. So it's a different type of advertisement that you need to do if you want to hit people. I go to Greater St. Stephen's. We have people who come from Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Canada, all over the place in parts of the United States, almost every Sunday. And we're not like on a big old billboard except for when a conference is coming.
But trust me, there has been some type of. But trust me, there has been promotion. There's a difference in what you're talking about with advertising and promotion. You're specifically looking for Greater St. Stephen's, for somebody that is coming to New Orleans and looking for it. They're specifically looking for it. They know where it is.
or maybe the hotels, or maybe the other places are telling them, okay, Franklin Avenue, okay, a Household of Faith, or Church Cathedral.
So Ms. Claudia, I want you to understand something, because I'm not debating you, but debating you. But I think in the probably the presence of this whole issue, which I disagree with Corinne about what my job is. My job is
wait, Gerard. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'm doing it. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm telling you that what she said to me about me not doing this because it's not my job, it's the council person's job. One of the things that I understand is that, and I'm maybe I said that in a disrespectful way, but I known Corinne for years. But in the instance of this issue, this is a subject that keeps coming up. And I don't think, that's just me personally, I don't think that it's ever going to get solved, that anybody's going to be happy with it until the entire community gets it. What better way to be able to say, hey, here's the community coming to a debate on this. I might not be able to get to the live location, but I could hear it on the radio. I can call in. I can talk about it that way.
That's
my job. That's my job.
Okay.
So you understood what I was saying, right?
Okay, I got that. But I think I listened to what she was saying, that it's the council man's job to call and set up the meeting.
I got that.
Yeah, okay.
I got that part. So.
All right. And just to go back to these, you brought up digital billboards kind of like right off the bat, and I just wanted to say that I have been doing a whole lot of research too, because I didn't want to just say I'm against the billboard and not really have a reason why. But digital billboards have been a problem for some states, and they have taken that to their U.S. Supreme Court, their circuit court for those different states. Like starting in April of 2022, there was a ban in Austin, Texas. It was Austin versus Reagan. And in 2023, that same kind of digital billboard case banning was upheld in Madison, Wisconsin. And Jacksonville, Florida has had cases where they had to take it to court because they didn't want that visual clutter in their area. And once you get a billboard up, they're saying that it's super hard to get them down.
So
and if for some
when
reason
you
that
went to the city of Austin versus Reagan National Advertising, Reagan National Advertising, that's what you're talking about. It's Reagan and Lamar who sued, arguing that the code's distinction between on-premise signs and off-premise signs violates the First Amendment. So this was a First Amendment. It had nothing to do with the community that wanted to have it or not have it. This was the signs of off-premise signs that were violating the First Amendment.
So that was some of it, but it also was
It's the city of Austin, Texas versus Reagan National Advertising.
From what I was reading, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a law clerk, but from what I was reading, I thought it also included the fact that the people did not necessarily want the digital billboard. And if you do have those billboards digital, otherwise up, and let's say that we want to expand I-10, and so they're going to do what eminent domain, let's say they do that. And so the billboard company can push back and say, you need to pay me for my projected, expected income that I would have made in 25 years or 30 years or whatever. And who would pay that if they won? It's the citizens. So even though you're not guaranteed any set amount of money, we, the citizens, would have to pay unless they came to some type of settlement for those billboards to be removed. And when you put up billboards...
Billboard companies are private. That wouldn't be anything that the citizens
would
have to
I
do.
said eminent domain. If you wanted that land...
Right. The only people that could request eminent domain is going to be the government in the first place. A private person cannot.
That's how I started off. I said if the interstate was to be expanded.
Right. So if eminent domain classification is ever put forth, billboard companies would have to remove their property. That wouldn't come on us.
Yes, it would. From what I've been reading.
What you read?
Because who pays for the government removal? We're paying for that stuff in the line of taxes. We're paying. That's our money.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that one. I don't want to debate
Okay.
you on that part.
All right. But I just wanted to express that I did start to look at billboards. I'm looking, and it's almost consuming me so much now that why did we have to get to this point when we could have had some general discussions prior to getting here? And I think that's what was also alluded to, that our district needed to have some open, hard fact dialogue before we got to this.
Okay. I'm with you on
And
that.
when we look at how we can advertise, how companies can advertise, this is a new age. This is technology. And they talk about having social media influencers. They talk about using your Instagrams and your Facebooks and using your tourism departments, using your word of mouth, investing in your festivals, doing bus wraps, which we have quite a few in the city, and also utilizing these bus stops. Use the bench, the shelter as
But Miss Claudia,
advertising.
and listen, I'm so glad that you're giving me all these different ideas, but I have to push back a little bit on that and say, why are these ideas coming up now? When the businesses in New Orleans East have been complaining about they have no way of getting their words out, or saying that they don't have the business when you got 250, 300,000 people going up and down I-10, and they're trying to figure out how they can get part of that business. It's good that we're going to sit up here and have a conversation about what they can do, but have we told them?
Well, no, wait. The thing about it is when you open up a business, also consider this, and I've read this and I heard this. You open up your business. You need to provide for security. That needs to be in your business plan. You need to provide for advertisement. That's part of your marketing strategy also, right? And if I was able to look up all different kinds of things of how people are successful, I'm sure if they're going to do due diligence, they're going to find that by just going on the internet and doing searches.
But guess how I want to advertise? But guess how I want to advertise?
Wait, what?
Guess how I want to advertise? You said in my business plan I should have advertisement, right? So guess how I want to guess how I would like to advertise?
But you don't have this new business that we're talking about.
No,
we're
but guess
talking
how I
about
know.
the old businesses. We're talking about the businesses.
Miss Claudia, guess how I want to advertise?
Bye. It was nice talking with you. All
You
right.
hanging up on me now?
Well, look, I want somebody else to be able to call in and have a discussion with you. So, yes.
All right. Thank you much. I appreciate your call, dear.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good weekend. All right, we got to take a break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. Have some more conversation in just a minute, y'all. Hold on.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Your Power is On gospel music show is coming on at a new time. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 AM and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hey folks, it's Dr. Shepherd. You know me. I've got something special for you. Write this number down.
504-858-4696. That number is for you if you're having hair loss issues, no matter what the issue may be. It's for an all-natural ingredient formula derived by my mom, a pharmacist, in 1971. And trust me, it works. Give us a try. You can get your hands on it right now. Call 504-858-4696.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, an on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations. Welcome back to school, families and scholars. NOLA Public Schools is excited to kick off another exciting year of learning, growth, and success. Our dedicated teachers have been preparing all summer to provide an engaging and enriching experience for every student. Let's embrace new challenges, celebrate achievements, and make this school year the best one yet. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS by visiting our social media channels. Here's to a year filled with curiosity, creativity, and community. Attend today, achieve tomorrow.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Boy, this went by fast today. Coming up in about, 35 minutes, we've got the sports report. Coach Gary going to be up in here. Make sure that you check him out here to get your weekend started off. And I know a lot of folks going up to Atlanta this weekend, boy. They going up there to I wonder they're going to have a second line like they did in Dallas. They just disrespected Dallas.
You know we ignorant.
And I know they're going to do that in
You know we ignorant.
And
you know,
then,
a couple of years ago, them people threw eggs at our buses.
Who did?
Them fans, them Atlanta fans.
In Atlanta?
At the team buses.
Oh yeah, they going second line. Probably have a Frankie Beverly and Mays party too. Yep. I know Captain Charles got his party up there. I know Captain Charles got his party going up, but I know they got another party that's happening here for all those that can't go. I was talking to my good friend Barry Wright over at the Vault NOLA, and they are having a lot of stuff going on this weekend. It actually starts off today with they call it Flirty Fridays, and that's going to be from 5 until 7. They got happy hour and a whole bunch of other stuff, but they also got the TVs that are going to be in play on Sunday at the Vault NOLA. If you haven't been over there to have your brunch, I can tell you it's very nice, very nice. So make sure that you are making your reservation and do so. And I want to thank Barry and everybody because they're becoming a sponsor of the afternoon show. Ain't that something? So make your appointments and get in there on this Sunday to watch the game because they're going to have the televisions going and everything. Let's go to Atlanta. Miss Mustang Sally. Mustang. Where you at? She hung up. Mustang coming back.
She gonna call back.
Huh?
You know she gonna call back.
Yeah, she gonna coming back. Let's go to the other end of the world. Let's go to Los Angeles. Let's say Harold.
Yes, I'm about 2,000 miles from you. But the two ladies that called you, I wish I was there to give them the biggest hug that I could give them. I really appreciated their call, and I like what they were saying. I know something. I started to say a little bit about billboards, but I know a considerable about billboards. You in New Orleans, I guess, are about 20 years behind as far as billboards are concerned, behind in billboards. Now, I would like to say billboards make money. I have a friend he died not too long ago, and he owned a couple of billboards here in Los Angeles. And you're talking about $5,000 a month. That wouldn't even touch what he was getting a month. He owned the property that the billboards were planted on. So they do make money. Also, I have a daughter. Among her degrees is a degree in marketing. Billboards are important for business, but one of the ladies said to you, you wanted to do a neighborhood remote or something, but she just didn't know. Communities can get together and voice their concerns and whatnot. And she told you about the city council. Now, I'll tell you who runs Los Angeles is the investors, okay? And they influence the city council. How do they do that? You think about it, how they do it. Things have really changed here. And when you land here at LAX, you're going to see some of the biggest billboards that you ever have seen in your life, those electronic billboards.
Right.
They go all the way across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, times change and people don't understand. Now I'll say this. Beverly Hills is in Los Angeles County, and if you get ready to sell a piece of property, the signs that you put on the property cannot be large like other properties outside of Beverly Hills. Right. They are real small, and I think they're about 12 inches by 12 inches.
Yes, 12 by 12.
Hello?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was saying the same thing at the same time. 12 by 12. They can't be the 4 by 8s.
Yeah, right. So, and then too, it was a time that attorneys couldn't advertise on television.
Right.
But I keep my remote. I get sick of all the crap that comes over, and I cut it every time they come on.
Mm-hmm.
But billboards are part of life, and they are all over the place. And I understand what the ladies are saying, and that's about all I wanted to say about billboards. They are necessary, and your argument was good, but I understand where they are coming from.
I understand it too. I'm playing. Look, I don't want to say I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just looking at it and saying that this is a conversation that we're going to continuously have, and I think that at some point in time that somebody's going to have to start looking at it, because you can't have your cake and eat it too, and that is these businesses, and I've had 3 in the last 24 hours that I had a conversation with that have their locations in New Orleans East, and what they said was that they would like to be able to tap into the folks on I-10 that are going up and down and passing by them to get to Slidell or somewhere on the North Shore or coming to New Orleans to go into the areas of downtown and wherever else they're going. They'd like to tap into some of that traffic. And I said, I understand that, but why are we having these conversations about billboards? Billboards don't have to be 16 feet by 8 feet. They don't have to be those great big old billboards. I think that at some point in time, they just need to understand what's the size, size, like the old saying says, Mr. Harold, size matters. And those are conversations that I think this is my second or third time that we've had the same conversation, but everybody gets upset about it, but it don't never move anywhere. It always gets to be a conversation between certain groups, But
well, if you allow me to say, is your what? You should be the one to get these people together and educate them as to what it's all about.
That was my idea of maybe I need to do a radio show, but that was shot down.
Well, no, really seriously, they just don't know. They just don't know. They're good people, and they mean well, and I understand where they're coming from. But they just have to. I'll keep saying the same thing. Community get-togethers, remote get-togethers, and whatnot to teach the people would do a whole lot. And I'll say again, the investor. Oh, this city here is changing. Like when you come here, you're going to see something different, and it's the money that's flowing, and the investors, what they do, and property that you would never think in your lifetime. What do they call it? Gentrification.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different world altogether. So anyway, it's up to you to educate the people like you're doing on the radio. I'm sitting here thousands of miles from you, listening. So I'll just say you're good, Jazz is good, and I'm super good. And I'll holler at you later. Have a good weekend.
You too, my friend. All right. Let's go back to Atlanta. What you say, Mustang Sally?
I'm so glad y'all put me right behind Mr. Harold. Hi, Mr. Harold.
Yes, indeed. How you doing?
No,
baby?
what I was going to say, I was really calling to give Jazz a compliment. Jazz, your record sounds like Wreck Crew. The men who sang the mythologies of the Crew Click. That's what that music sounds like. I kept listening to it and said, that music sounds like something I like. And all of a sudden they played it on another station the other day, and I said, that's what it sounds like. Just like Wreck Crew. You know who Wreck Crew is, Jazz?
Yep. Thank you very much.
That's what it sounds like.
Thank you very much.
That's why I like it. I said, that record sounds so good. I know that record. And, gee, we're not really in Atlanta. We're in Lithia Springs.
Y'all got any billboards out there?
About Atlanta. That's a big place, man.
Let me ask you, do you have any billboards where you live?
Yes, indeed. Let me tell you something. When Clarence and I used to drive from Loyola to Gentilly, that's all we saw.
No, I'm saying where you are now. Where you are now.
You're gonna have to put up with this for the rest of your life, G. The other folks don't like us because of our skin. Our folks don't like us because of our skin. So our folks is the barrel of crabs, and them other folks is the barrel. I don't know what color they're looking for, because as far as I'm concerned, we're the same color. You know, we think the same way too. But baby, look, keep doing it, because you know what? It's gonna come to you. And you're gonna get what you want. Because when them people, I think three of them were talking to you, I can see Mitch's face on Jazz, and I can see your little face turning red as a beast. And I said, now you know what? All I wanted to do was compliment Jazz on his music. I didn't want to call up there and see G with a tomato face and see Jazz with Mitch on his face.
Yes, indeed.
But you know what? Y'all have a good day. We did fine, baby.
All right, you're all right then.
Yes, I thought of you. So thanks a lot, baby. And y'all have a great day.
Did y'all get any of that? Y'all got a lot of that rain?
Oh, we did get the rain, yeah, but we didn't get a flood.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
As long as you're all right.
Dave.
All right, then.
Yeah, I'm all right. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Because she right outside of Atlanta. You know, Georgia got hit pretty hard today. Was that yesterday and today? Yesterday. Well, I would say early this morning. Georgia got hit pretty hard with that hurricane that came through, which then by that time was what? Tropical storm. North Carolina got hit with it too. Yep. But it was Western North Carolina. So I called my sister and she was like, guess what they did? I was like, what they do? They done shut down the schools. I said, you got a free day? She said, your niece does. I was like, yes, indeed. So she was happy. She got a free day out today. But it was more Western. I should have asked Mr. Harrell because he told me that his brother's in Asheville, and that's the area of North Carolina. Charlotte, Asheville, that area got hit. So we'll find out. I know he'll call you back and tell you off air. He'll tell you off air. Mr. Harrell, call Jazz back. Let him know your brother all right. So what do we do about businesses that would like to take the opportunity to advertise? Tell them to keep doing social media. So let me give you some instances about social media. Do we understand what the algorithms are now for social media? The algorithms for social media are not the same, especially since they went to this meta format. And what I mean by the algorithms, how many of you have several hundreds, and I'm just giving you some ideas of what we're talking about here, because this is very important for you to know. How many of you can tell me about 4 or 5 years ago about the number of people that used to be on your post that used to say stuff and da-da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden you don't see them as much, or you don't even know that they're still your friend because they stopped checking your posts. They stopped checking to see what you were writing. You stopped checking for them, but they're still your friend. So they are not a part of your algorithm. It's usually just a set folks, a number of folks that you deal with on a daily basis that are part of that algorithm because they changed it. You all go through who your friends are on your Instagram, who your friends are on your Facebook, who your friends might be even on, I think, TikTok too. I'm not certain. And I guarantee you at some point you're going to be like, well, damn, I was wondering what happened to them. Nothing happened to them. The algorithms change. So social media, you have to know how to change the algorithm. Don't ask me that part because that part right there is too much for me to explain. And I would say that there are too many folks that don't know how to change the algorithms to say, oh, I'm going to get the social media folks that I want. Let's talk about radio and television advertising. Why do you all really think, and this might even sound a little prejudiced, but okay, it is what it is, but it's the truth. And when I say prejudice, it's going to sound prejudiced to both sides. I'm talking about the lawyers, and I'm talking about the clients. If you turn on your television today, and let me give you, for instance, back in the day, and this is how I was taught. I was taught in radio and in television that you don't put competing advertisers back to back. Like if you got a chicken place, the next commercial that comes up shouldn't be another chicken place. If I got one lawyer, then the next one shouldn't be another lawyer. But the lawyers done figured out something. And this is why I said it's going to sound a little sticky, and you all need to be this. These companies have come in here and come into Louisiana and said the number one person that you can get as a injury client, personal injury client, is a black person. What? Yes. Why you think somebody like a Dudley DeBosier, they got over 200 lawyers that they deal with? has now changed their, hey, we're the person for the we're the crew for the Saints, and we do all of this other stuff. And now you got Dudley DeBoja, throw your foes up, throw your foes up. Who they getting to? They not trying to get to Billy Bob over there that's in the country. They advertising to you because we're the number one suers. What else? What else would we be singing? Because I can sing a song and I can remember that them Negroes gonna remember the song. What song they gonna remember? Chip for a star. What's the next line? Takes care of it all. He ain't talking to Billy Bob. They even got Mars Bard up there using lines, and I'm like, why be damn? Because he done stopped using the one call, that's all. What he using now, Jazz? If you know, you know. Yeah, look at the billboards. Billboards that he got up. He got that IKYK. If you know, you know. Because what? Because we the ones that say it. He don't even sound right saying it. If you know, you know. Who is he talking to? They even got a scandal with insurance and clients of lawyers that were having them. What they do? They stopped and hit those daggone 18-wheelers and found out that them 18-wheeler companies was like getting tired of being sued for a certain amount of money. So guess what they did? They put cameras on the 18-wheelers and waited for those guys to hit the trucks instead of the trucks hitting them, and then telling the police that the truck hit them because they had somebody following them and say, I witnessed it. Now we got a scandal. It's a federal scandal. But guess what? It was not no lawyers that look like me and you. Where'd that case go? Did you see any lawyers go to jail? Shh. Be quiet. Be very, very quiet. I called Juan LaFonta. I saw, oh, you know what? I was at a restaurant. I ain't calling him. I'm lying. I was at a restaurant, and Juan LaFonta came and sat right up there beside me and was like, boy, what's going on? I was like, LaFonta, what's happening with you? But guess what I was doing? Not saying Juan LaFonta. I was singing the song. But Juan was trying to get our folks. But we will pick up the folks. We will pick up the phone, folks, and won't call Juan. We'll pick up the phone, and we'll call one of them other mid-life, 50, 60, 70-year-old white men, and have them to represent us. Why you think they advertising so hard? Because in advertising, it was known that you don't put competing businesses together. They running so many ads, the television stations don't have nowhere to put them. So they putting them right behind each other. Y'all pay attention to y'all can call me Monday and say, damn, G, you ain't lying. They are taking up all the advertising on television in prime time, the times they know that you're going to watch TV, so that you'll call them. Instead of the advertisement of black folks that are lawyers that went and paid all that money to get their daggone Juris Doctorate. And you don't see the John Fullers. You don't see the Suzette Bagnarises. But they doing the business. But it's the Dudley DeBojas. It's the other folks that are running all of their cover, taking up all their advertising. Why? Because the more they advertise, the more they got the possibilities of you seeing them, and the more that they can relate to you, the more you're going to pick up the phone and say, yeah, let's do this. Just watch the commercial. Probably sometime today or Monday, watch television and watch the television commercials. That's all you're going to see, one behind the other. The television stations don't give a damn no more. They getting the money. Damn, I don't care that they running them competing. They don't care. What you say, Mr. Elmore?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Good, my friend. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Appreciate the topic you had yesterday. Appreciate it. I really understood. I agree with a lot of things you were saying, you know.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, with marketing, I think it's so sophisticated now. It looks like when I watch television, if they're not advertising attorneys, local and national attorneys, they're advertising pharmacy items. I mean, every time we look, they're advertising some drug that we may not be familiar with. So it looks like they're putting the market, if it's not drugs, but it's with attorneys, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's what's paying the money. Guess what? They're gonna do it. They paying to run those commercials. They're gonna do it.
Could I make a comment?
Please.
No, in reference to yesterday, you made a very good point. We have to abide by the courts. You know, we have a system where innocent, you have to prove that I'm guilty. But when the federal government, if you understand the federal government, what you do, you have attorney friends like I do, and I'm sure they'll tell you, when the federal government go after you, trust me, brother, they just don't go after you with one thing. They watch what you do, and I know people say, well, they set you up. No, you set your own self up, because the federal government ain't stupid. They're going to watch you, continue you doing the wrong thing, and then when they lay the wall on you, it's almost like, my God, how did they get this wall? But they let you do it. Now, I thought basically enough would be enough where he should have, you would think, a lot of attorneys around him to tell him, hey, dude, this is something you shouldn't do. But again, sometimes I guess when you see that kind of money, make that kind of money, you get gullible, you know.
Yeah, well, when you start talking about, advertising, and you're going to spend $10 million, and you got that in your war coffers, money makes greed. So that's all I can say about that one. I just hope that he got his ducks in a row, because they coming after him. And always remember something. They put enough on you so that something gonna stick. Right.
Well, look, one thing I want to say, you don't need me to give you a kudo, but I'm gonna give you one. One thing I love about you, it must be an enjoyable thing for you to love what you do and get paid for what you do, and you help in the community. It couldn't be no better than that.
Did you say get paid? Did you say get paid for what I did?
No. What I'm saying, you have a profession, you're getting paid.
No. Yeah, I thought I heard you say I get paid for what I need to have a conversation.
No. I don't mean no. What
I need to have a conversation with Troy Henry and all of them. Then I need them.
No. I don't mean no. What I'm saying,
no. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I appreciate that. Wait, say it again.
I have a job where, huh? No, you love what you do, but you help in the community. I mean, I wish I had. I have a job where I really love it.
You saying I get paid to do it, so I need you to stick with that.
Well, like me, I mean, I enjoy what I do and I get paid. Sometimes when I was a kid, I got embarrassed with what I was making, but my dad said, dude, don't get embarrassed, just enjoy and make the money, you know?
I like getting paid. Mm-hmm.
And Oliver, too. Look, I ain't blowing smoke off Oliver, but Oliver, I mean, let's be real. I mean, I'm a New Orleans Easterner. Oliver does more for the area than so many people behind him. I ain't gonna mention their names. I ain't gonna disrespect saying the people that was before him, but he's doing great, man. He will continue to do great, so I appreciate it. And you too, man. I mean, you really helped the community a lot, so I appreciate you, man.
I'm gonna make sure I tell Troy that I recorded everything you said. I need to send him this on the weekend. So.
Don't do me that, brother.
Mr. Elmore, I got to take my break. I appreciate you, my friend. Have a good weekend.
All right, brother. I appreciate you it all around you, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, we got more coming up, y'all. We get ready for the conversation with the sports report coming up. Coach Gary going to be here at 4 o'clock, y'all. More coming up next.
Start your day off right.
Just getting your day started.
Early morning gospel on WBOK 1230 AM.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Fried chicken isn't just food, it's a feeling. It's family reunions, Sunday dinners, and celebrations. It's the taste of home. The National Fried Chicken Festival, presented by Raising Cane's, brings people together from all walks of life to share a delicious, time-tested tradition. It's fried fun for everyone. Join us October 5th and 6th at the New Orleans Lakefront. Get your tickets today at friedchickenfestival.com.
Hello, I am Bishop Fred A. Caldwell Sr., host of the Know Your Bible International radio broadcast, which is heard here on WBOK 1230 AM each Sunday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. So join me here for a blessing, won't you?
Discover the Leah Chase School, NOLA Public School's first new direct-run traditional public school in nearly 2 decades. We offer excellence in math, science, English, and social studies, focusing on unlocking every child's potential. Every scholar receives a personal device, regular assessments, clear family communication, as well as transportation services in a nurturing, arts-inclusive environment. Secure your child's K through 5th grade slot today. Apply at enrollnolaps.com and embark upon a unique educational journey.
This is the coach, Garrett Sashere. The Sports Report is coming up next on WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. As we get ready to walk about the door, I want to thank everybody for being a part of the conversation on today and giving their input to our conversation. Good conversation, you know. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But that's what we're supposed to do when we talk about these different issues. I don't think this is going away. I know that this is like the second or third time within the in the last couple of years that I've had this conversation. And I haven't changed. I still stay the same. I'm just looking at it and saying to myself, you know, that has got to be a conversation for all folks to be a part of. Not certain groups, not just the council person, which he has made it clear today. It's got to be a conversation that everybody needs to have a conversation about. Your conversation is different from my conversation, and I think that everybody will be better informed, more thoughts, and then what does the business community say for New Orleans East? What do they say? I bet you they would be for it. I had a whole bunch more stuff to say in my last 30 minutes, but I want to have peace this weekend. I want to have peace and be able to not have to answer the phone and say, what I said this time. Oh, why they complaining about old Gerard with a T. Not today, babe. I'm going home to have me a good weekend. I'll be looking for you too. Sunday, I'm going to be out at the Wisner area of City Park with Zulu. The Zulu got his picnic on Sunday. I will see y'all out there. Be walking around and having some fun, shaking hands and kissing babies. So we hope to see y'all out there. All right. Have a great weekend. Be safe, y'all. Enjoy this cool weather too. It's supposed to be cool. Y'all have a great day. Coming up next, Coach Gary got the sports report right here on WBOK.
From the campus of Xavier University.
Yeah.
WBOK 1230 AM. Go. And Equity Media Station.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who is black, has pleaded not guilty to federal corruption charges. He appeared in a Manhattan federal courtroom Friday after being indicted on Thursday. The 57-page indictment alleges Adams accepted lavish gifts and trips from Turkish officials looking to buy his influence. Helene is already blamed for the deaths of at least 20 people. The former hurricane had a maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour as it rolled through southern Georgia and caused life-threatening storm surge. And a storm surge warning has been issued for the Florida's Big Bend region, where Helene came ashore Thursday as a Category 4 hurricane. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, who is black, is criticizing her colleague Clay Higgins of Louisiana over online remarks he made about Haitian immigrants. Higgins posted on X Wednesday saying that Haitians are wild slapstick gangsters who eat pets, calling Haiti the nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
WBOK 1230 AM online at WBOK1230.com.
I'm